What you doing, readers? I'm going to talk about the Flintstones comic. And I was debating on whether I should actually talk about this or not for multiple reasons. One is because it's not really new. It first came out in June 2016 and went on a whole year until June 2017. There was 12 issues of it. And I didn't really think I would talk about it because I don't really talk about American comics on here. I talk about manga plenty. But this is like the first full American comic I've read. I've read bits of other ones, but this is the first full series I actually read. But it's written by Mark Russell and it's drew by Steven Pug. I think that's how you say his name. Uh, yeah, but not only did I not really care too much about American comics, mainly because of art reasons. They look like plastic the way they're made. I'm sure the people who draw comics are great at what they do, but it's the way they print them and they just look plasticky, especially when I'm used to manga. And it's just weird. I'm used to black and white. A lot of these they're always in color. But not only that is I don't really care about DC because even though it's Flintstones, the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, the comic is made by DC, and I just thought that was weird. I never really cared that much DC. I guess I'm a Marvel person, but I mean I like the Batman Forever movies, Batman and Robin, way back then. But since then, I haven't really cared about DC comics, so I steered clear of it. So then, why did I even bother to read this? Even though, yeah, I loved the cartoon as a kid. Um, it's because I got the first volume, the first 6 issues, as a free promotion from Amazon for buying some whatever, I don't know. But I got it as a free download on my Kindle app, and I read it, and I actually really liked it so much that whenever I had Kindle Unlimited, I read the rest of the issues on it. It's great. I've apparently been missing out because there's a whole lot of stuff that this kind of covers or hits a bit on, and it's a lot like the cartoon. The characters all kind of still do the same thing. There's the same characters, same jobs, and whatnot. But now it's like more geared for adults, and there's an understanding adults would get. I don't think kids would, and something that a funny cartoon would get translated into a more serious comic book, I guess. One of the big differences, I don't know if they ever talked about this in the cartoon, but Fred and Barney are war vets now. They fight all kinds of wars. When other invaders come, they have to fight that too. And it's weird um, just to see this. And I think it's the first like serious part they have to actually deal with in these comics, and then they have to go like these meetings, for I guess PTSD kind of treatment. But they still are pretty similar to their own characters, just take out the comical bits. But yeah, everyone from the comics seem to come from these different tribes. They talk more about all these tribes that specialize in different things. Like I think Velma was from a tribe that kind of first established farming, and then there's hunters and all this kind of stuff. But they came together to fit more into a more modern society, or whatever. Modern as in, if you know the cartoon, you know what I'm talking about. It kind of mimics society now, but animals kind of are the appliances, and technology somehow still works, even though it doesn't make sense scientifically. I don't know, it's weird. But then there's also the issue of like they touch on the stuff of people's obsession with owning stuff being the animals. And it's like people's always shopping and buying stuff and then throwing this stuff out, which hits you even harder when you think about them being animals. And then it gives the animals a little side story because they're the appliances, and when they get thrown out, it's sad, and they're animals and they feel for each other. And I really like the animal side stories too; those were great. But my favorite topic that they talk about and make fun of is like this concept of religion. And there's, of course, the religion versus science debates in it, but the whole like they go through this process of like trying to find a deity, something to worship or whatever that may be. And they go through different ones, they have different names, and like they realize they can start making money, so that's when they start doing offerings. And then there's like they keep changing up the deities because something bad happens, even though they're like praying and worshiping this one, they stop believing it because things aren't working out. And then they finally settle on one because that's when things settle out, and his name is Gerald. Which eventually gets displayed on a sign later that gets shortened, take out the middle part, and it's just GD blank. So I guess they filled it in to be God, but it plays out through the entire 12 issues, and it was great to see how that changes and like how it just keeps getting involved with the story. And yeah, it's poking fun at it, but everything at it is poking fun because overall this comic is like reflecting modern society, our modern society, and how, especially maybe these past few years, people are kind of, reverting back to this caveman behavior, and there's just a lot of violence and a lot of discrimination, all this other kind of stuff in the world. But if you look at them at the comic point of view, it's the opposite. It's more of this like these caveman and like maybe not fear, but becoming more enlightened about the possibilities of what the future is going to hold and the problem that it's already going to bring. And then that's also like aliens. So Marvin the Martian makes his appearance, even though he's not, especially not common. He's a full standing alien that comes from a very scary race of aliens. But yeah, there's a lot that can be touched on in these comics, and for 12 issues they cover a lot. That's why it surprised me so much. So now I'm really interested in all the other comics that aren't superheroes that DC has. I've seen stuff like Scooby-Doo. There's all kind of Scooby-Doo comics that look super serious and cool. I guess that's the main reason I want to talk about it, because it surprised me. I really enjoyed it, and it's great. So yeah, if you're into comics and you've only kind of been focusing on superheroes, maybe check out some of other DC's comics. And there's all kinds of comics out there. There's, Walking Dead was a comic. I guess that's the first thing that made me realize comics weren't just superheroes. But I don't know, what do you think? Have you read these comics and all kinds of other stuff? Let me know. Talk about it in the comments. But if you like what I have to say about this, go ahead and give the video a like. If you want to see me talk more about this and other stuff, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You can see when I do all of that. But until then, I'm the AC. Thank you for watching, and bye.